Today, we're talking about move, eat, drink, sleep. You're going to love this, all right? This is my hallmark equation to great health. Move, eat, drink, sleep. Our meds. You're going to want to watch this. Tune in. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Concierge Doc Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Jason Littleton, CEO and founder of Littleton Concierge Medicine. Welcome to the podcast. Today, I'm talking about one of my favorite topics, move, eat, drink, sleep, meds, my meds protocol. And I invented this when I wrote my first book, Wellspring, The Energy Secret to Do the Good Life, where I was talking about how you could have great energy by good nutrition and exercise and think through. What I mean by think through is having a plan. It's so important. So as we talk about this, this is just what I have felt as a doctor is a fundamental principles that you can put your health on so that you can have great health. I think there's so many fads out there, so many fads that, and so many supplements. And look, that's not a bad thing. It's just that most people don't know what to do. And sometimes they can get off on a tangent doing all these things and not take care of the essential things. And the essential things are move, eat, drink, sleep, or meds. So let's jump into it. So when I talk about having great health, I have put together this formula so that you can have this as the basis of healthy living. Move, or the M part of meds, is all about moving your body, right? Making sure you're getting good cardiovascular health, making sure that you're building muscle. It's so important. So many people are sedentary. So many people want to play on their phones, watch TV, and not get outside and be active. It's so important to move. And I have found that if you're not in the habit of moving, if you're not in the habit of exercising, you want to start small. I have a play off my name, Littleton. Little changes make a ton of difference. So when I talk about move, a lot of times when I'm talking to clients, I'm talking to them about, get up for 5 minutes, 3 times a week. That's it. And go jogging, go for a run, get that heart rate up. It's so important because when you do this, now you're doing something to get in the routine, to build a routine to change your numbers. And a lot of times when I'm talking about numbers, I'm talking about blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, weight, the numbers that a lot of times we are so concerned about. And these are important. So the reason I tell people, just go for a jog, 5 minutes, 3 times a week, because that's palatable. That's something that people can do. It's a non-excuse way to get started. And a lot of times when I say that, people are like, hey, I can do 30 minutes. No. I don't want you to do 30 minutes. I want you to do 5 minutes and do it 3 times a week. That's only 15 minutes. A lot of times people say that they can do more is because they can do more. It's just that they can't reproduce it. Day 2, day 3, week 2, week 3, month 1, month 2, month 3, and so on and so forth. So I want people to build that muscle of routine into their life so that they can sustain change. And change comes from consistency. And so that's why we talk about, 5 minutes, 3 times a week. And that's where I like to start with move because, to make change, you want to get your heart rate up between 50% your resting heart rate to about 80%. So idea of what that is if your resting heart rate is 66, half of that is 33 plus 66 is 99. So when you're exercising, you want to, at least if your heart rate is 66, get your heart rate above 99 for starters, to get pumping and to break a sweat and to get in that routine, to get in that habit to start changing your numbers is so important. So I just like to start off with that as far as the M part move. And a lot of the exercises that I like to tell people or I recommend to people are doing things like anti-gravity things like swimming or, a stationary bike. A stationary bike is something that you could do inside while you're watching TV. And you can get your heart going, and it doesn't matter if it's snowing outside, if it's raining outside, that's something that you can do. And if you have bad knees, well, good. It's it's anti-gravity exercise where you're seated and you're pedaling, and that's something that you can do to get that cardiovascular exercise. So it's my non-excuse excuse buster exercise, so to speak. So another thing is when we talk about that acronym, move, eat, drink, sleep, the other part is eat. Broad strokes of when I talk about eating, obviously we all know we need to eat, but I think it's so important to eat organic, right? Especially like when we talk about fruits that have like a thin skin or a thin layer, you want to make sure that that's organic versus something like maybe like a banana or an orange that has a rind or something that you have to peel, that's less susceptible or exposed to like insecticides, pesticides, things like that. But you want to eat organic, and you want to eat for energy so that you can nourish your body. I like to have people eat uh, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then a snack in between breakfast and lunch and dinner and bedtime to keep their blood sugar even keeled. Now, that's one way to look at it. Another way is people have heard of the keto diet, and that's a whole nother way where you're going high on fat, moderate protein, and low carbs, and that's an awesome way too. What's right for you, you have to sit down and talk with your doctor. And a lot of times when I'm working with patients, I'm looking at what type of medical conditions they have, what their age is, what their activities are. Are they an athlete? Are they eating to lose weight? Are they eating for energy? Are they eating for a sport? All these things factor in. And that's why, this is just broad advice. You want to talk with your doctor to find out what's right with you. And if you're my patient, you want to talk with me so I can work with you to find out what's right for you. So as we move on, the D in meds is for drinking or hydration. Now, I'm not an advocate for alcohol, and I don't recommend that people drink a bunch of sodas. I want people to drink things like water, electrolyte water, drink some sort of electrolyte solution so that they can stay hydrated. Water follows salt. So water's following that sodium, potassium, and chloride that's in that electrolyte beverage. So when you drink that, it helps keep you hydrated because those electrolytes get into that intervascular space and within the blood vessels, so to speak, and it helps retain water. So people who have low blood pressure, can increase their blood pressure by drinking an electrolyte solution. That's one of the ways to stay hydrated more. I think that other things, I like lemon water. I think that fruit juices, freshly squeezed, are important. These things can really nourish your body and make a difference. Let's do less caffeine. I know a lot of people like coffee. I like coffee, but sometimes we can drink too much coffee. Like, people start talking about 2, 3, 4, 5 cups of coffee. And if you have problems sleeping, and we're going to get into that, that caffeine can stay in your blood 10 to 12 hours. And so if you are drinking coffee at 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning, noon, you know, reflexively 10, 12 hours later, we're talking about 10 p.m., 11 p.m., midnight. And if you're having problems sleeping, some of that caffeine's still in your system. So that's why we want to reduce the amount of caffeine, whether it's in soda or coffee. You want to have that before 10 a.m. so that you can get a good night's sleep. And that's a good segue into the last part. Sleep. S, move, eat, drink, sleep. Sleep is so important because that's when we repair. That's when our bodies repair. So when we sleep, what we want to do is set up our bedroom like a spa. I wrote about this in my book, The Energy Secrets to the Good Life. And in my second edition, Energize Again, I talk about make your bedroom like a spa so that you can get good sleep. A lot of people have trouble with sleep because they have trouble with racing thoughts. And so one of the things that I like to remedy that with is you get a pen and paper out and journalize and try to put an answer to some of those question marks in your racing thoughts that you have, because the mind will start to work as it will accept that, hey, we've got a construct going. We got a possible answer to some of these questions that are racing in our minds because we're starting to work on a solution, and that will give you peace of mind so you can get sleep. That's one of the things that can give you peace of mind by starting working the solution. Other things are, look, sometimes we can get so used to having the TV in our room that the fact that it's in our room creates that thought of, I wonder what's on this show or that show. I wonder what's on our favorite streaming system. And that can keep us from relaxing. And it just increases that brainwave activity. instead of when we need to calm down, we're thinking about, wonder if this is on, if that is on. You know, when you go and get a massage, usually some type of nice music that relaxes you is on. The lights are dim low. There's not a TV in that massage room. They have it so you can relax. When you walk in, you are you enter a room where you just want to relax and exhale. And that's how you have to make your bedroom. Your bedroom should be a place, a sanctuary, so to speak, that when you walk in, you just feel like, you know, exhaling, the weight's off. And that's the beginning of getting good sleep, because that's the beginning of good relaxation. So I want to end with that. Move, eat, drink, sleep. These are some broad tips that I want to give you. And I wrote more, obviously, in my book, Energize Again. And we're going to dig deeper into this, because this is a good platform to have good health. Move, eat, drink, sleep. And I'm so excited to bring this to you. I want you guys to follow me on my handles: Facebook, Instagram, subscribe to my podcast. Hey, subscribe, like it, share it. Let's go.